Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
And I'm Julia, and today we're gonna expose your softer side.
My what?
Well, say you see a bug, What do? Do you kill it?
No, I love bugs. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just a bug. I can never kill a bug.
Exactly. And that brings us to our big idea for today. God cares about all of his creation. And I think that after you watch this video, you might change your idea on bugs and everything else God has created.
What animal could Noah not trust? The cheetah. Hey everyone, it's Alyssa. What's going on? So, have you ever been to an aquarium? I went to the aquarium the other day and it was really cool. Now, it was really easy for me to get caught up in the big sharks and the bright fish, but then I realized there was this tiny little jellyfish too. And I thought, this is just as cool, if not cooler. I mean, think about it. This tiny little creature swims and eats and breathes and lives, all packed into this tiny little body. And God created that. Sometimes we can see a little insect or a small bird or even a tiny jellyfish and not realize that even these things are part of God's wonderful creation. In his creativity, God invented every aspect of every creature. And to be honest, sometimes it's so creative and so unique that it blows my mind. And that leads me to today's big idea. God cares about all of his creation. Last time we heard the story of Noah and his big boat, the ark, and the flood, and all the animals that were on this boat. Big animals like elephants and lions and bears, and tiny animals like mice and rabbits. When we left off, Noah, his family, and all the animals were on dry land. And we know that Noah had been following in God's way, and following in God's way had set him apart. Here's what happens next from Genesis 9. Then God blessed Noah and his sons. He said to them, "Have children so that there are many of you. Fill the earth." They were the only ones left on earth now, so they had to have loads of kids, and their kids had to have loads of kids, and so on, so that the earth would be repopulated. Then God said to Noah and his family, "I am now making my covenant with you and with all your children who will be born after you. I am making it also with every living creature that was with you in the ark. I'm making my covenant with the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals. I'm making it with all the creatures that came out of the ark with you. In fact, I'm making it with every living thing on earth." Now, let's pause here for a second because some of you might be thinking, what's a covenant? A covenant is a super important promise that's made between God and people. Now, in this case, God made this promise with people and animals, which is pretty cool. Let's read what that promise is. "Here is my covenant I am making with you. The waters of a flood will never again destroy all life. A flood will never again destroy the earth." So God's promise is with all people and all animals that he will never fully flood the earth ever again. It's cool that God made this promise between himself and people and animals. It shows that God cares for all of his creation. And my favorite part is the sign that God used to mark his promise. Let's read what it is. "I have put my rainbow in the clouds. It will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Sometimes when I bring clouds over the earth, a rainbow will appear in them. Then I will remember my covenant between me and you and every kind of living creature. The waters will never again become a flood to destroy all life." A rainbow is such a lovely reminder of God's promise. In fact, every time I see a rainbow, I'm reminded of God's promise not just to Noah, but to all people and all animals. God is so cool and so creative, and the sign that he put in the sky isn't just beautiful, it's meaningful too. It shows us that God always keeps his promises and can remind us that God cares about all of his creation. Remember at the beginning when I told you about my trip to the aquarium and how I recognized the significance of that tiny little jellyfish? That was a cool moment for me to be able to thank God for the beauty and creativity of his creation. There are many ways that we can show God that we care for his creation. We can thank him for it, we can spend time in creation, we can care for the environment. In fact, there are a lot of things we can do in our everyday lives to care for God's creation. Maybe sometime soon you can go on a hike with your family and pick up some garbage that you see along the trail. God cares for his creation, and we should too. I had a ton of fun today, and I will see you guys soon.
Okay guys, quickly turn to the person next to you. Hey, quickly, and answer the following questions.
Question time! What is a covenant? A boat? A place nuns live? A promise between God and his people? Or a place full of water? A promise between God and his people. What was the sign of a covenant God made in today's story? A unicorn? A star? A lightning bolt? Or a rainbow? A rainbow. What is your favorite thing in all of creation that God made?
Game time! Running wild. Can you say the key verse before the runner wins the race? Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go! Say it with me. God, see what is in my heart. Help me live in the way that is always right. Psalm 139, verse 23 to 24.
Okay, so if you think about it, when Noah and his family were on the ark, they had 2 of every animal. So that means there must have been 2 mosquitoes, 2 ticks, 2 ants, 2 of every scary little insect that's out there. But Noah and his family made it through. They didn't get super sick or suffer from any illness or anything.
That's true, and God provided for them. They had food the whole time.
Yep, so while we're talking about bugs and other animals, we have another video we're gonna watch, and I think you're really gonna like this one. Let's check it out.
My name is Rob Ruthart, also known as Reptile Rob. She peed on me. Now the rest of the videos are ruined, and I love reptiles. I've loved reptiles my whole life. And the way I think about it is some kids love soccer, and for me, I've always just loved reptiles, and drawing too. Here's my friend, Mrs. Fuzzybottom. She's a Chilean rosy-haired tarantula. When you see a tarantula, you might be like, ah, because it's so awesome. Or you might be like, ah, it's going to eat me. But rest assured, tarantulas can't even kill people. Their venom is not deadly to humans, just the small things like crickets and perhaps a small mouse. If you look at the back of the tarantula, you might see the back part moving around a bit. Those are the spinnerets, and that's where the spider webs come out of. She doesn't use it to make a spider web like a garden spider would, but hers is more like a carpet, which is an alarm system. So when a bug walks across it, it moves, and then she knows there's a bug there, and then she jumps out and grabs it with her pedipalps, which are these little legs in the front. Then she sticks her fangs in it, injects it with venom, and then sucks out its guts. For me, I have the best job in the world. I get to be with animals, but more importantly, my job is teaching kids about animals and really bringing the world that we don't get to see every day to them face to face and allowing them to experience creation in an amazing new way. All right, see, Reptile Rob also loves fluffy animals. This is Dusty the chinchilla. Chinchillas are adorable, and as you can see, I'm not making that up. Now, if you look at the chinchilla, it's got these really big ears, and the ears are excellent for hearing. They also help the chinchilla cool down. The blood flows through their ears, and if you touch a chinchilla on its ears like this, you can actually feel that their ears are a little bit cooler than the rest of their body. Now, they're the softest animal in the world. Softest because they have more hair per square centimeter. If you look on your arm, find a hair that's grown out of it. That grows out of something called a follicle, and you'll see like 1 hair growing out of each follicle on your arm. Chinchillas have 50 or more hairs growing out of each one, and that's why they're so fluffy. Chinchillas are excellent at running and jumping and playing checkers. Not checkers, but they can jump up to 6 feet high. Chinchillas are also really good for pets if you like high maintenance, noisy pets that run around all night, but are good for cuddles. He's so fluffy, you wouldn't even know he's only got 3 legs. Yeah, he's missing a leg. Cool, right? There's Dusty.
Can I touch it? It's super soft. Wow.
What I want kids to take home is that we live in an amazing world that was thoughtfully planned and made, and just to always be in awe, because when you take the time to look at things closely and to really think about how unique and amazing each animal is, it's amazing. So never forget that and always be amazed. This here is a baby redfoot tortoise. Isn't she so cute? Her name is Ooh La 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 Hee Hee Hoo La 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 La. What a great name, huh? Just kidding, her name is Speedy. Now, this little tortoise is just a little baby. You can tell because she's wearing a diaper. Just kidding, she's not wearing a diaper, but you can probably tell because she's so tiny. She's only about 6 months old, and when she grows up and becomes old and lives her full life, she could live up to 60 years. It's a long time. Now, if she's a baby, that means her mom must be pretty close by. Well, not usually, because mother tortoises will lay their eggs in the ground and bury them, and that's it. She's like, bye, have fun raising yourself. But I actually have her mother, because this little tortoise was born at Safari Science, and I want to show you the mom. Here's Mom. Her name is Shelly. Her sister's name is Shelby. Her dad's name is Sheldon, and her uncle's name is Frank. So this is a full-grown female redfoot tortoise. They come from South America, and I'll show you how you can tell the difference between girls and boys. Now don't worry, it's family friendly. So the top part of the shell is called the carapace, and the bottom part of the shell is called the plastron, and I'll show you her plastron right here. And on a male, the plastron curves inwards, and on a female, the plastron is flat, just like on hers. Now, there is a difference between turtles and tortoises, and one of the main differences is that turtles usually can swim and tortoises never swim. One thing that turtles and tortoises do have in common is that they both go pee and poop out of their tail. Pretty cool, right? Oh yeah. Fun thing about working with reptiles is that people who love them, but not everybody does. And if you don't like them, you really don't. And a lot of times when I'm doing shows with the animals, some people say, ew, that's gross or disgusting. And I tell them it's a good thing that the animals don't speak English, otherwise you'd hurt their feelings. All the animals are part of God's creation, and every single animal, whether you think it's cute or not, has a very important role, and it's part of our world that God has made for us.
You're right, I loved it. And my favorite part was the chinchilla. It was just so fluffy.
I agree, but I have to be honest. I know I said I like bugs, but I can't imagine holding that tarantula. I would have been so scared.
But just like Rob says, whether we think the animals are cute or not, they're all part of God's creation. And God loves all of them.
It's true. All right, guys, it's time to get into our small groups and talk a bit more about it.